Good morning, everybody. It's meteorologist Jeff Gerber. We are going to give you a live update of what's going on with Tropical Storm Beta this morning. Appreciate you joining this live update. We'll see if we can get some folks on here and just give it a couple of seconds here to get everybody on here and be watching this live update and see what we can find out. There's actually a little bit of good news on the 10 o'clock update and on the satellite too. I'm looking at, looks like we have some good news showing up for the storm as well. So not completely falling apart, but it doesn't look as good this morning as it did earlier today. Let's get started here. Right now we're looking at a satellite of Tropical Storm Beta. You can see at the top of your screen there, a 10 a.m. advisory. The winds are still at about 50 miles per hour, which is down 10 miles per hour from yesterday. Moving to the west-northwest at about 7. So it's slowly still creeping towards the Texas coastline, and it still looks like it's going to be making landfall probably somewhere down around Port Lavaca as we head towards, say, late overnight into early tomorrow morning. I want to first start off here with the satellite, and as you can see, the deep reds around the center earlier this morning, and those have really died down. We've got still some dry air, it's a little bit of wind shear into the system. Let me get rid of this symbol here, and you can see the deep reds right there we had this morning. Now they're dying down, and you can see the wind shear kind of pushing everything off towards the east there, and it's not looking very healthy. Tropical Storm Beta is, and as it gets closer to the coast, I can't see it strengthening much more. It looks like, if anything, it might continue to weaken as we go through the next 24 hours or so. But we'll continue to watch it. Still spreading rain and wind across the Gulf Coast, some storm surge as well, spreading into some parts of the Gulf Coast for this morning, and will do so for the next couple of days. Let's take a look at the track from the National Hurricane Center. You can see the orange there. Still we have tropical storm warnings up all the way from Corpus Christi all the way over towards Vermilion Bay in south central Louisiana. Here's what we're looking at. They have it coming onshore sometime, it looks like late tonight, or I should say after midnight, probably towards tomorrow morning, just inland at 7 a.m. with winds down to 45 miles per hour. After that, during the day on Tuesday, it makes that right-hand turn and starts to head up the coast, winds at 40 miles an hour by Tuesday evening, and then as we head into Wednesday morning, winds down to 35 miles per hour, so it eventually goes from a tropical storm status down to a tropical depression status, and then as we get into Wednesday, it looks like Wednesday evening, it goes overhead as a tropical depression across southeast Texas, winds at about 30 miles per hour. We'll probably start to see it kind of enter the picture probably during the afternoon on Wednesday, and then move through Wednesday evening. By the time we get into Thursday morning, it should be over into Louisiana. So sustained winds at about 30. That basically means we'll probably see winds anywhere between about 20 and 30 miles an hour. We could see some gusts about 40 miles per hour as it moves through. Some heavy rains probably near the center of it, so we'll be dealing with those. And then we'll also see maybe a little bit of storm surge before it actually moves overhead. Once it goes past us into southwest Louisiana, that storm surge will slowly move out. We've got all that water build up, a little bit of water build up. It'll take a little while to get out of here, but as you see on the track here, by Thursday morning 7 a.m. it's in central Louisiana. By Friday morning 7 a.m. it's in Mississippi. So it's not going to sit there and spin around. It's going to, once it starts to move on Wednesday morning, it will start to move and continue to move off towards the east and then northeast. So it's not going to be one of those deals where it sits over us for a week and pours rain. It's going to be moving at a pretty good pace once that trough of low pressure to our north hits it and starts to push along. We have a big trough up here, and that's going to be pushing it off towards the east and northeast. So we're going to see that as we head into Wednesday and then on Thursday. All right, let's go down the watches and warnings. Of course, we have a tropical storm warning. Now, that's really only along the coast, even though it shows all of Jefferson County. It's really just along the coast. That's where we can see the winds come in at tropical storm force, which basically means winds over 39 miles per hour. So we could see some gust over that along the coast. So all the counties there basically along the coast are under that tropical storm warning. Flash flood watch, that includes Jefferson, Orange, southern half of Jasper, Newton, and all of Hardin County. It does not include Tyler County. We'll see these rain bands coming in along the coast as the storm, before the storm approaches and then while it approaches. And we could see a quick spin up of a couple inches of rain. So that's why they have a flash flood watch. Some of these bands coming in could be heavy and could give us a quick dose of some localized flooding. So that's why they put the flash flood watch up there. That goes through Wednesday night. So we'll be keeping our eye out for something like that. And then this is a little bit of good news. We've adjusted rainfall totals down a little bit. At first we were thinking anywhere from maybe 5 to 7 inches of rain. Now we're going to take a couple inches off towards the lakes area, maybe 1 to 2 inches of rain as we head out down towards, say, Lumberton, Silsbee, looking at about 2 to 4 inches of rain. And then as you get down towards the coast, we're looking at about 4 to 6 inches of rain right now, starting today going through Thursday. So this is not what we're looking at on Wednesday or one certain day. This is a period of 4 or 5 days here. So we can handle that. Matter of fact, officially out the airport this morning, we were 5.33 inches behind for the year. So we could use a couple of inches of rain across the area. That would help out a little bit. So it's going to be off and on. Not going to be steady rain all day long every day over the next 2 or 3 days, but it's going to be off and on. We'll see these bands come through and drop maybe a half an inch to inch of rain, maybe even a few bands coming through and dropping a quick 2 inches. That's where we could see some of that flash flooding. But it'll add up to generally anywhere between 1 to maybe 6 inches of rain as we go through the next 2 or 3 days. Also, storm surge along the coast. We could see anything from about 2 to 4 feet. We're talking basically kind of around the Sabine Pass area, along the coastline in Jefferson County, even down there towards Bolivar. They could see 2 to 4 feet as far as storm surge. So that could cause some problems down there. As far as those low-lying spots, and we've been seeing some storm surge. I seen some video this morning out of Galveston where they've been seeing a little water down there. Here is the storm surge map, and you can see the areas in blue, and that goes all the way up through Sabine Lake up into the orange area, greater than a foot. So around a foot maybe towards the orange area, maybe 1 to 2 feet along the lake there. And then as you get down towards Sabine Pass, you see those little specks of yellow there right down towards the coast. That's where you could see maybe 3-4 foot of storm surge there, maybe even a little bit higher in some spots. But overall, storm surge along the coast might be a problem as you get up into places like Bridge City, Orange. I don't think that's going to be a huge deal. You might see 1 to 2 feet there where some low-lying spots get a little bit of water. And yeah, the water's going to be up a little bit, but it's not going to be inundating Bridge City or anything like that. So a little bit of storm surge here and there, but not going to be a huge deal with this storm. All right, let's take a look at basically what we're looking at. Once again, this kind of runs down everything. Should be coming in Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. Winds when it comes through between about 15 and 30 miles an hour. We'll see gusts about 40 miles per hour generally across the area. A little less as far as you head up towards the lakes area. Lakes, you're probably looking at about, say, 10 to 25 miles per hour with gusts maybe to 30 to 35. Storm surge 2 to 4 feet along the coast, 1 to 3 feet near Sabine Lake, and then rainfall roughly 2 to 7 inches of rain through Friday or Thursday, you could say, as far as rainfall. So I don't want to really downplay this storm and say, you know, it's not going to be nothing but just a little bit of rain, a little bit of wind, but it's not going to be anything compared to like Laura that came through, of course. There's going to be probably some power outages. We'll probably see a couple of areas lose power for a little bit. You might see some localized flooding here and there, but we're not going to see power poles snapped in half. We're not going to see everybody's yard tree damage and everybody's going to have roof damage. That's not going to be the case. It's going to be maybe a tree here or there that goes down. You might see a little bit of power outage activity here and there, and you might see a little bit of localized flooding with some of these bands might be a little heavy, producing some rain. Probably the one thing that I'm really kind of hoping that doesn't happen and kind of looking out for is when we get the center of the storm moving through. We're talking about Wednesday into Thursday. Around that center, we could see a quick spit up of maybe an isolated tornado. So something that probably would be something I'll be looking out for as we go through Wednesday. But that's probably about as worse as it's going to get, is maybe see something, an isolated tornado. Of course, even a weak tornado can cause some damage. But generally, this is what we can expect with Beta. Winds generally that day, Wednesday, between 15, 30 miles per hour, gust to 40, and pick up a couple of inches of rain on Wednesday, it looks like. Outside right now, just cloudy. We've been seeing drizzle and light rain throughout most of the day. It's helped keep our temperatures down. We were looking at 60s and 70s still. I mean, we haven't really moved from where we were this morning, maybe warmed up just a little bit. Here's radar right now, and there's a little bit of rain northern Tyler County. There is some sprinkles out there that don't show up on radar, but it's cloudy across the area, and we're looking at, like I said, a little bit of rain here and there. Some of the heavier rain is definitely off towards the east. You can see there through Jennings, south central Louisiana. That stuff will eventually try to make its way over towards us as we head towards later tonight and then through Tuesday into Wednesday. So today we've been doing pretty good. We haven't seen that much rain, which is good news, because I think we're going to see a pretty good dose of some rain as we head into a Tuesday and a Wednesday, as far as maybe a couple of inches each day. Maybe one of those days maybe up to around 3 inches of rain. So we'll be watching for that. And then let's take another look at satellite and radar together. You can see the storm spinning just off the coast, but it's going so slow, it's going to probably take at least until late this evening, if not till close to tomorrow, early morning, before it actually makes landfall. And you can see some of the heavier rains over there towards parts of southern Louisiana, southeast Louisiana, been getting some heavy rains from this. But some drier airs come in, and you can kind of see that on satellite here. Let me see if I can get this to work. But you can kind of see where some of this drier air is kind of pushed in around the side of the backside of the storm. So it's really not, you know, Laura was looking textbook there for a while. This one is anything but textbook, with the dry air and some wind shear kind of pushing things off towards the east. So it's struggling, and I'm glad it's struggling. Let's hope it continues to struggle as it makes landfall. That means once it does get over land, it'll be even weaker than maybe they're predicting it to be right now. So as I mentioned, with the cloud cover and some light rain out there, we're seeing temperatures still in the upper 60s through Woodville and Kirbyville right now, some middle to lower 70s here in the Triangle. So looking pretty nice as far as temperatures. Along the coast, here's where we're looking at tropical storm warning, of course, along the coast. East winds at 35 knots today, seas from 5 to 8 feet. This is not the day to try to get a boat out there. High tide at 8:25 for tonight. That's when we'll see some of the highest water. So that's something to be aware of if you live along the coast or live along Sabine Lake, intercoastal there. That's probably when you're going to see some of the highest water, 8:25 for at least today. And then rough conditions on the inland lakes and bays, water temperature about 77. And I want to really quickly show you the 7-day forecast, which shows the rain off and on today, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then once that storm moves off towards our east on Thursday, rain chances drop. Friday, maybe a couple isolated showers. And then the weekend right now is looking dry. But of course, once you get rid of the rain, you see more sunshine. You're going to get warmer temperatures. We'll be up close to about 90 as we head towards Sunday. But next 2 or 3 days, we'll deal with beta, and then it'll be gone. And then we can hopefully move on. I don't have to worry about too much. We're now getting into the later part of September, which is good. We passed the peak of hurricane season. Hopefully, once this storm goes by, we'll be kind of on the downhill side of everything, and things will be a little bit quieter as we head towards October. Once again, if you're just joining, I want to show you the 10 o'clock update. Right now, winds are at 50 miles an hour with tropical storm beta, moving to the west-northwest at about 7. You can see tropical storm warnings along the coast there in orange. Expected to move in towards the coast late tonight, early tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Not going to move a whole lot between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. It's going to kind of slowly start to make that curve and try to hit up the coast. And then after that, we will see it start to move up towards Galveston Bay as we head into Wednesday, say Wednesday or late Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. And then as we get into Wednesday during the afternoon, we are expecting it to be overhead here in southeast Texas as a tropical depression. No longer a tropical storm, but a tropical depression. Will winds at about 30 miles per hour. And then after that, it moves pretty quickly off towards the south and west. Quickly, I want to check over some of the comments real quick to see if I can pick out any comments. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, go away, Beta. I agree. Crystal Beach, you're going to get a little bit of water down there coming up. Like I said, the storm surge is going to be a little high there. Power outages, yeah, I think there will be some power outages. I mean, if we have wind gusts to 40 miles an hour, we've had thunderstorms come through with wind gusts to 40 miles an hour, which knocks out power for a while. It's not going to be a deal, though, I don't think, where we're going to see, like we did with Laura, where we actually have poles being snapped and things like that. It's going to be a deal where a line comes loose and they just have to tighten it back up and things like that. So a lot quicker fix than what we saw with Laura, especially over towards Orange County. We're not going to see something like that. But yeah, I anticipate there will be some power outages. So make sure you have those flashlights ready to go. Make sure that you are ready to deal with power, hopefully for not too long, maybe a day or so, something like that. Hopefully it won't be a big deal. Yes, there is this little bit of a disturbance off the coast of Florida. It's southern Florida. They're not expecting it to move towards us. They're expecting it to kind of just sit over southern Florida right now. I'm not going to talk about it too much because we got to deal with this, and it doesn't look like it's going to be a concern for us. And the Hurricane Center is giving it a weak chance of development right now, about 20% over the next 5 days. So we'll get to that after we get done with beta. But yeah, right now there is a weak little disturbance off the coast of Florida. It doesn't look like it's going to be anything for us though. Mauriceville orange. Everybody's going to see about the same type of deal as this comes through. We're going to see those winds at about 30 miles an hour. Going to see some off and on heavy rain, and like I said, maybe a power outage here and there, and just a kind of a wet, windy day as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. Let's see what else. Hempstead, Texas, Corey, Waller County. Should be short people getting the higher ground. Short people getting the higher ground. I think you'll be all right. Will we flood in Beaumont? No, I don't think so. I don't think we're going to really see any widespread flooding across any of southeast Texas. About the only time we might catch some flooding would be, like I said, one of these bands come through and it drops a quick 2 or 3 inches of rain in maybe a couple hours time. And even with a thunderstorm, we'll see a quick localized flooding with that, something like that. So we could see something along those lines. But as far as widespread flooding like a Harvey or a Imelda, no, that's not going to happen. This storm's going to be moving. Even though it moves slow, it's still going to be moving. And right now, like I said, the greatest amount of rain we're looking at is maybe 5 to 7 inches in some isolated spots. And we can definitely handle that as opposed to what Imelda was 40 inches of rain and Harvey was 60 inches of rain. That's a far cry from 5 to 7 inches. Yeah. No, it will not be, like I just said, it won't be similar to Imelda at all. Let's see. Yes. Any schools canceled? I think we had some notifications this morning. Watch at noon today. I'm not sure exactly what schools are doing right now, but I would watch at noon today on KJAC or NBC. And if there's anything closing or whatever, we'd have that. And of course, we'll have it on this evening on ABC and NBC on our nightly newscast there. Everybody's naming their towns. It's basically going to be about the same for everybody. The only thing probably a little bit different is when you get north of, say, Silsbee and Lumberton, you're looking at a little bit less rainfall, maybe 1 to 2 inches, as opposed to, say, Lumberton down to the coast, where you could see anywhere from maybe about 3 to 6 inches of rainfall. So a little bit heavier rains in the triangle south towards the coast than you would see up and towards the lakes area. That'd probably be the only difference you would see, and maybe a little less wind up towards, say, Tyler County, northern Jasper, and Newton County. Let's see. Lots of comments, lots of people watching. I appreciate everybody watching the live broadcast, and I appreciate all the comments. A lot of people talking about schools and they're going to be canceled. You're going to be going, yeah. So, like I said, I know we talked about some of that this morning on the newscast. So I would watch at noon today if you can, or just watch the evening news. They'll be talking about, you know, who's going to school, who's not going to school, and things like that. Like I said, at this point, today's not going to be bad. Today we will get a little bit of rain, a little bit of, well, our winds are gusting out there at 15 to 20. Tomorrow we'll catch a little bit more. I think the rain's going to be a little heavier tomorrow. We'll see those wind gusts probably upwards of 20 to 25 tomorrow as it starts to make that turn. And then as we get into Wednesday, I think that's probably when we'll see some of the steadier rains, and we'll see those wind gusts to around 30 to 40 miles per hour as the depression moves across southeast Texas itself. So that'll probably be the, you can say, the day where we see the most activity from this storm. And then after that, it moves off quickly off towards the north and east. So it's not going to be Imelda. It's not going to sit around. It's not going to be Harvey where it sits around. It's going to continue to move. At least that's the forecast for right now. So, like I said, I appreciate everybody talking, leaving comments for this morning and watching this live broadcast. I'm sure Patrick Vaughn, chief meteorologist here at 12 News, is going to be doing another one of these. If not this afternoon, maybe this evening, give you the latest update. If you haven't liked my Facebook page, Jeff Gerber at 12 News Now. I appreciate you going there and liking that. I try to give updates. Every time we get an update, I try to post that on my Facebook page so you can quickly go there and check it out. Of course, you can go to our 12 News page, and we'll put updates there as well. Just stay tuned. We'll continue to watch Beta move in off the Gulf of Mexico. Looks like late today, early tomorrow, and then we'll watch it and see how it tracks up the coast. One thing to note, if it moves in a little bit farther inland and tracks, say, a little bit farther north than the triangle, then it should be a little bit weaker. The farther inland it goes, the weaker it should be as it gets away from land. So hopefully, when it comes in, hopefully it won't make that turn until it gets a little bit farther inland, but we'll have to wait and see. Right now, the Hurricane Center says it's going to basically hug the coast as we go through the next few days, so we'll have to wait and see. Once again, I appreciate everybody watching the live broadcast. We'll keep you updated as we go through the next couple of days as we watch Beta come in off the Gulf and slide towards southeast Texas as we head towards Wednesday. Everybody have a great afternoon.